Hi, welcome to probably the most unscripted and lazy tutorial on lighting in NeosVR. Nah, just kidding, I do have a script, but it's filled with so many goddamn errors, I might as well be improvising at this point. Anyway, I'm going to be telling you how to properly light your worlds. I'm assuming you already have a basic understanding of Neos's developer tools and how they work. I will also mention that the method I use is optimized for PBS material avatars. However, it will still look good even with Toon Shader avatars. This isn't just about light sources either. I'm going to be talking about global illumination, reflections, and I'm going to be lightly touching on externally based lighting. So here's some basic guidelines about lighting your world. Number one would be optimization. You want to make that your priority. And yeah, while Neos is using deferred rendering, that doesn't mean spam your world with hundreds of light sources. It doesn't look nearly as good as you'd think. In fact, this world right here is using baked lighting, and it is using only a directional light and a well-done reflection probe, in quotes. And yeah, the lighting actually doesn't look too bad. Although if I turn on the high mode, it uses 5 light sources, and that's already a bit chunky. But yeah, that's optional. So yeah, let me just turn that back off. Number 2, reflection and global illumination are equally important as light sources. In fact, I've gotten really good lighting with a single directional light without shadows and a well-done reflection probe, as I just said. Number 3, don't be afraid to get inventive. Using light sources to simulate light bouncing off a wall can actually be a good thing if you do it right. Although that doesn't mean that doesn't mean fucking spam it. That just means try it, and if it looks good and doesn't take up all your performance, then hey, go for it. Number 4, color matters. Don't fall into the trap of having boring grayscale lighting that generally doesn't look good. In fact, this world right now has a mixture of blue and yellow lighting. I actually went for a color scheme with this world. The inside of the tent is supposed to be a yellowish kind of lighting, while the outside is supposed to be more bluish. And that's actually to convey, warmth versus cold. It's, very basic stuff. And number 5, contrast. Again, don't fall into the trap of having your world have the exact same lighting everywhere. In fact, if you look, this world has plenty of bright spots and plenty of dark spots. Especially over here in the crevices. It's really dark over here. And, it's really bright, outside, for instance. And, hell, it's even like that if I turn it to nighttime. So, the inside is really bright, and the outside is, really dark. Of course, this is with the baked lighting version of the map. It does apply to the real-time version, too. And yeah, the real-time version does look quite nice inside, and the outside still looks dark. So yeah, that's, the general guidelines for lighting. You also want to make sure that it's not unnaturally contrasting, which I will say that this world's a little bit more contrasting than it should be, but it's not by much. Anyway, let's start with creating a world. I'm just gonna go with the basic grid space, because I'm a fucking simp. Okay, so I'm only doing this for a tutorial, so I'm just gonna put in a bunch of random crap. First of all, I'm gonna change the floor to PBS metallic, because the default floor is unlit. I'm gonna make the smoothness 0. I might just have the floor, I don't know, a mildish green. Yeah, I'll get back to the materials in a bit. This is about lighting. Actually, I'm just gonna use a couple Neos Essentials materials, because why not? So how about I take
How about I take this ground material here, shoot the ground. Oh, don't forget, you want to make sure that the textures have their filter mode set to anisotropic. Because otherwise, yeah, if they're on bilinear filtering, they get really blurry, like really close up. You also only have to do it for the normal map and the albedo. The rest don't really make as much of a difference. But yeah, that already helps make the world look a lot better already. Anyway, I'm also just gonna place a couple of cubes around because I can. I have a brick texture in here. Here we go. Do these bricks look good? Just gonna do this. So gonna do the is normal map check on there, and I'm actually gonna make it anisotropic with the height map too. And there we go. In fact, I'm actually gonna scale this up a bit. Oop. On a bit of a tip for texturing, if your textures are too big, you can just change the texture scale. Like, I'm going to make it, like, tile 4 times, so there. And how the ground's also a little bit, on the small side. I think I'm going to make it, tile twice-ish. And how I'm going to give it a detail normal map, with a size of 10. Just to throw in some extra detail. Yeah, there. Looks a lot nicer. Of course, let me see if I can find a... Isn't there a Blender thing in here? Primitives. I'm just gonna grab the... I'm gonna grab Suzanne just because I can. And I'm gonna make Suzanne metallic. Make it green metallic. How about smoothness of 0.9? And of course, I'm going to go ahead and recalculate the normals because I don't want it to be extremely pointy. There, so now we have that. Just gonna scale this up and where's the rotation nodes? There we go. Just gonna rotate that like that. There we have a giant Suzanne there, because we can. You know what? I'm just gonna put one of these just in here because I can. Because as I'm lazy and just want to get this tutorial over with, I'm just gonna place in a bunch of Neos Essentials crap. So, how about just for the because I can factor, I'm just gonna place one of these in here. And of course, I'm going to place some vegetation in here. See, a couple trees to make the shadows a bit nicer. Okay, so we have something. Actually, no, I'm going to place one more tree, and I'm going to make it really big. Just place it right there. And one more tree just for the sake of it, just right there. So yeah, now we have some kind of light. We have some kind of world at least, but if you haven't noticed, the lighting looks incredibly ugly. Also, starting to wish that the things in this game just had anisotropic filtering by default, but whatever. There, we have something. So, I'm looking around. It looks okay, although the lighting is definitely very lackluster. So, anyway, let's get on with the lighting, shall we? First of all, you're going to want to be using the light tip for this. And I'm actually going to, first of all, move the sun. So, actually, no, I'm going to start with the skybox. What skybox do I want? So you can import a skybox, or you can use one from the essentials. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm just going to take this one because it's my personal favorite. Yeah, everything got all bright. Where's the sun? The skybox up there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and give the directional light soft shadows. So that's already an improvement, and in fact, I'm actually going to tint the light a bit. I'm gonna make the light kind of a yellowish, or how about a bluish actually? So yeah, that looks about right. Gonna increase the intensity to 1.1. There, so that's one light, and now we have more lights that we need to add because this doesn't really look that appealing. So we're going to start with, you know how I said we should make the lighting make sense? That wasn't a joke, so I'm going to... How about I take one of these and just set it somewhere, like, how about right here? And the funny thing is that despite the fact that these have lights in them, although I'm not really a fan of them, so I'm gonna... Where's the light? Here it is. So yeah, I'm just gonna have the shadow near plane really low. There we go. So yeah, that's already a light. And hell, I'm actually gonna go ahead and what the hell was it called? Okay, here it is. Going to make the light yellow, just for a bit of contrast. And you know what? We don't have to use conventional methods here. This is a tutorial, so I'm just gonna make a glowing cube because I can. It's like, how about I just put it right here? I'm actually gonna create a unlit material for this. I'm going to set the color to that, and I'm gonna increase the bloom a bit. So there, now it's a cube. Now I need to create a point light. I'm going to parent it to that, and now I'm going to set the shadows to soft, set the color to that, set the intensity to 5, and I'm going to set the range to, okay, maybe not 50, how about 15? And I'm going to set the intensity down to 2 instead. 20 range, there we go. So yeah, now we have a glowing cube. That's fun. I'll go ahead and turn on my controllers because I like seeing them. And here's a light source that I very rarely use, but I'm going to use it just because I can. And that would be the spotlight. And I'm going to make it a red spotlight. Yeah, points where
So yeah, where the blue thing is where it's pointing. So I'm just going to point it about this direction. Going to angle it down slightly, and I'm going to move it up a little bit. And yeah, I know I'm contradicting myself by making a light source that makes no sense, but just imagine that I have a spotlight over here. Yeah, I'm gonna set the intensity to 2. Okay, yes, the shadows are functioning, and I'm actually going to turn down the directional light slightly. And in fact, I'd actually suggest like working with, like, I'm actually gonna add a couple extra trees just to get a couple more nice looking shadows, add a bit of shade, and hell, I'm gonna try and put this chair more in the shade real quick. And move Suzanne a bit more over here. I'm gonna move the tree here so that it casts a bunch of nice shadows. And there, the lighting looks a little better, and although we're still missing something. Oh right, that would be the global illumination and reflections part. So yeah, I'm just going to set the, why is the POV not working? Just gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna put the reflection probe right there. And now I'm going to go into fly mode, and I'm going to go under the map, 360 photo. Waiting for that to take. Come on, Neos. Are you seriously not gonna take? Oh, there we go. Oh, didn't mean to hit the tree. Meant to hit this. So yeah, that's our reflection image. So now we are going to, I'm going to do a bit of a trick that involves, I'm basically just going to remove a bunch of components, move like the ones that I don't need. I'm going to reset its position and scale and whatnot. I'm going to set its scale to 1000, 1000, 1000. I'm going to go down and move its mesh collider. I'm going to add transform drivers position at user. I'm going to remove the rotation drive, and I'm going to position at local user. So now that'll mean that'll always stay exactly where you are. So yeah, that's that figured out. Now I just need to get the Skybox material. I'm going to set the render queue for the Skybox material to -1. Now I'm going to go ahead and assign that to the mesh renderer. I'm going to shoot the skybox with that. Now, if I'm not mistaken, holy shit, that is a lot of green. So yeah, that is what happens when you have global illumination. So yeah, this makes the reflections a bit nicer as well. So I actually have I have a ball of chrome I can spawn in, like specifically for this. Like, there we go. Ball of chrome is, ooh, not sure what happened to the two faces there. That's a little, yeah, I'm gonna retake that actually. That looks a little not how it's supposed to be. I'm actually gonna take this a little bit further away from the monkey to not have it shower with green. 360 photo. I am not sure what happened there, but yeah, I'm actually going to put this chrome ball here so that I can use it for reference.
So now if I shoot that, that should, in theory... Okay, that looks like I'm gonna have to report that to Fruxius. Whoops. I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm definitely not sure what's happening there. Whew. I think you forgot a couple of faces. Something's happening, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I would also suggest fucking with the exposure and the gamma a bit if you can. Like, I like to increase the contrast on my reflections. Like, even though it's a bit inaccurate to how physics actually works, it generally just looks slightly nicer, in my opinion. And, yeah, I now have a world that... Oh, hey, it fixed itself when I did that. Well, we now have a world that I believe has pretty decent lighting. Like, it's still not the best that it could be, but it's definitely not bad. And, yeah, if you, like, are an optimization monkey, like, you can actually delete a couple of these light sources if they're, like, useless, like, or hell, you can even, like, make them not cast shadows. So, like, for instance, I'm going to see how much of a difference it makes. Yeah, that one didn't need to have shadows. What about the spotlight? Do we need the spotlight? No, we don't. We don't even need the spotlight. What about the lighting box? Does that need shadows? I'm going to give it hard shadows, and... How bad does the sun look when it's on hard shadows versus soft? Yeah, I'm going to keep soft shadows for the sun. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do us all a favor, and I'm going to retake the reflection real quick. Yes, I'm doing that again. It's a lot of trial and error, but you'll get used to it after enough time. Although it is slightly annoying that the 360 camera takes a little bit. Just gonna shoot the sky with that. Gonna go ahead and set the exposure to 1.5 and the gamma to 2 because I really like how that looks. I'm actually gonna increase it slightly more. Yeah. There we go. And yeah, the reflection is static, but you can ignore that. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Also, you can use logics to change the Skybox or the multiplexer. Like, I'm not going to go into that much, but you can use logics to change the reflection based on where you are. And that would actually help a lot with the lighting if you have it changing based on your position. So, like, for this world, for instance, I'd actually have it so that it would be based on your distance to, like, right here-ish. And, like, if you're outside of there, like, if you're outside of a certain distance, it swaps to a reflection taken from out here, for instance. But, yeah, in the meantime, this actually doesn't look half bad. And, yeah, there you go. This is what your lighting can look like. So this looks fine, but what if you want to improve the lighting in a world you already have? Well, in that case, I'm going to load up... I'm actually going to discard this because I don't really care about it. I'm going to load a world. Like, I'm going to see if I have any worlds that I can just improve real quick. What do I have here that has bad lighting? I don't think I have any world that has particularly bad lighting, so... What out in here? Are there any lighting, like any worlds with atrocious lighting in here at all? Ooh, Modern Loft's in there. Ooh, that's not a good sign that I'm gonna be finding a world with bad lighting. It's actually a good thing when it's taking me a bit to find one. Yeah, memory lane looks fine, although that's probably because I helped on it. London what? God damn it, that also looks fine. Oh, here. Oh, right. Creator jams generally don't have that great lighting. Here we go. So, yeah, if, generally, creator jams, like, they don't really care as much about the lighting as, like, proper worlds. So, yeah, I'm going to be using a creator jam for this. It's going to take a minute to load. Well, I probably shouldn't be, Alright, gonna change the fly mode. Gonna have to wait for it to load. Yeah, Skybox is definitely looking a little, ooh, that's already a interesting sign. It's using the default Skybox. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit to load because this is, of course, a creator jam where everyone was creating shit in the same world. Yeah. I'm actually gonna switch to my, one of my accessibility avatars just so that I don't have to worry about my avatar's ears flopping in the screen. Still loading. This is gonna take a bit. Yeah. And hell, the world doesn't even look that bad, even with the default Skybox. Although there are definitely some things I'm going to be changing about this. Oh, okay, now the ground's loaded. So, oh boy, first of all, Anisotropic Filtering. I'm always the one who notices that. Now that's that first thing fixed, at least somewhat. Yeah, the textures definitely aren't that detailed. Yeah, let's look at, I'm actually going to be improving the materials a bit. Let's see, wait, is this all a fucking atlas? Okay, that's annoying. I won't be able to fix that. Please tell me the damn it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna be starting off with, very bare bones basics. Where's the directional light? Does this world even, okay, there it is, so, where are the direction, here it is. Set it to soft shadows. That already makes a massive improvement. Yeah, now we're going to grab the camera. I'm going to just set the camera there ahead of time. Gonna go to Neos Essentials, and I'm going to swap out the Skybox for something a little nicer looking. So how's that look? Okay, what about a more reddish Skybox? If it, come on, load already. I'm just gonna let that's gonna take a bit to load. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Gonna have to change the sky position. Gonna have to change the sun position because of it, but actually, maybe I can just change the, maybe I can get away with,
Where's the skybox? Huh, this is a very messy route. I will say that. Yeah, I'm gonna be changing the skybox position thanks to... Wow. Okay, I guess we're doing this then. So yeah, how about we get a more morning-looking environment going on? Gonna make the lighting more orangish, and I'm gonna make the lighting have an intensity of 2, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. Although the distant shadows, yeah, we definitely need shadow cascades for that. I might as well go ahead and do the skybox thing now. I'll do that so that it stays with me. Just waiting for this to finish up. There we go. I'll go ahead and just stick that in there. So yeah, that's the new sky. Gonna increase the exposure slightly and the contrast slight. Just gonna do that just for there. Gonna do that again. Whew, that was a bit of a frame drop. There, so now it'll move with the user. So now that's done, I'm simply just going to do that, and now I'm going to make the exposure 1.5, make the gamma 2.8 again, because that's just my style. And yeah, there's actually a lot of contrast here now. Although I'm still not done with the lighting. I've only gotten the world looking. So yeah, this looks okay. Although I definitely still have a bit more work to do. For instance, what the hell is grabbable? Anyway, I'm not gonna do this entire world, by the way. I'm just like, okay, so lights. Don't know why nobody did any lighting in here. I'm actually gonna be a cheeky bastard and just have like one light in the center here, just cause. Yeah, distance of 50. Intensity of 1.5. Going to make it a warm yellow.
So yeah, that's just one of them. Oh, more anisotropic. And hell, the gold bars over here actually look quite nice. So yeah, that's, I'm actually just gonna call it there. Like, I did one building and, generally just the world lighting. Like, the rest of these, I'm not gonna be bothering with, especially considering, like, their interiors are pretty much non-existent. So yeah, I think I'm about where it should be. So yeah, what else was there? So hopefully that says enough about the lighting in Neos, though there is one more thing I'm going to touch on, and that is baked lighting. If you know how to bake lighting in Blender, I have a tip about faking it on avatars. I would suggest that with baked lighting, you use the unlit shader, like I did with the with my tent. Like, this is all unlit for Nell, like when it's in baked mode. But yeah, generally what I'm doing is using a single directional light, which is where the moon is, and I'm using the global reflection probe for actual lighting, and it surprisingly doesn't look all that terrible, which is actually pretty impressive by me. Like, same applies for daytime. Anyway, if you enjoyed the tutorial, I don't know what you could do for me. Like, I don't really do shit on YouTube that often anyway, so liking and subscribing really wouldn't do much, but hey, I did something, and actually, you know what, the least you could do for me after watching this is applying this knowledge to your worlds. Because, like, the more worlds that look, you know, not kinda iffy, like, the better of an experience it'll be for both me and everybody else. And, like, don't forget, it is possible to make world lighting look decent without completely killing the frame rate. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Like, good lighting does not equal bad frame rate. And, in fact, especially if you're using baked lighting, it's actually better. Like, it actually results in more frames than if you, like, it can look better and have a higher frame rate if you're using baked lighting. Anyway, where the hell's my OBS? Wow, I've been recording for 30 minutes. Jesus Christ, a 40-minute tutorial on lighting. How the fuck did I do that?